Hello, I'm Jason of Jason's Collectibles, and I just wanted to create a short video here to show how to create an eBay listing that allows you to do multiple variations. And what made me decide to do this video is I was on Facebook yesterday and someone commented how they were selling like 500 low value insert cards. Maybe you're selling them for like $1, $2, $3 each kind of thing. And eBay charges you after you get like past, I think, about 250 listings. They start charging you insertion fees. And so if you want to avoid that, one of the best way that you could sell a lot more cards on eBay is to have a listing using variations. So I actually do a number of these listings on my eBay store, and I want to show you. But here's eBay's article, again, just sort of explaining their basic fees. And, we can see here the first 250 listings are free per month, but then you're paying like 30 cents per listing. So again, for these low value type cards, it doesn't make a lot of sense, to, list them each if you're paying this insertion fee beyond even, selling it and the fee you're paying there. So just to show you here's my eBay store, Jason's Collectibles, if you ever want to check it out. And I do have a number of these listings. Now I'm going to go over a couple of examples. One is I have a listing like this where I sell Young Guns. And for this one, it's very, very simple. It's just one drop-down menu here where you can feature up to 250 cards. Now I know for the 2023-24 Upper Deck, Series 1 had 50 cards, 50 Young Guns. Series 2 had 50, and the Extended Series had 30. So you're looking at 130. You're not even approaching the 250, which eBay allows for a maximum number of variations on one of these listings. So as you can see, if I've sold cards and they're out of stock, they gray out. It tells you they're out of stock. But this way, basically you can go through and pick. And then also in a lot of cases too, I do have, multiple cards, when it comes to Young Guns, for each one. So it tells you how many are available as well. I also have a storage system. I do use boxes and sleeves and top loaders and all kinds of things to store cards safely. And storing your cards too is important because when you have hundreds or thousands of cards and someone places an order, in my case, if you have a system, I can find that card usually, within a minute and start packaging it up and ship it out very quickly. So it's important to be well organized. But this is one example, again, just of a multi-selection listing. This is just one listing. It allows me to have up to 250. That's one example. The other example is where I've got parallels, and this is for 2023-24. And this is a little bit different in that I have two drop-down menus. I have one where someone can first select an attribute, like are you looking for a silver outburst or clear-cut parallel, or deluxe or exclusive. So in this case, if you choose an attribute, then you can select a player. And I'm going to show you how to do this here as well if you're interested. I found this was actually a little bit tricky when I first did it. And I didn't find a lot of resources showing me how to do it. So I'm hoping you enjoy the video. If you do enjoy this video, if you find it helpful, please do make sure you give it a like and I'd appreciate that. And also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel as well. But just, here showing the deluxe. These, of course, are all, they have a number on them. So, I'm putting the specific number. In this case, like this card here is a 227 out of 250. So if I had another, deluxe of this, then I would, put its number there as well, type of thing. So let's get right into it. I'm just going to turn my camera off here just so I don't cover the screen while I show you guys what I'm doing. And I'm just going to go into my other browser here where I'm already logged into the back end of my eBay account. And just a quick call out. I'm doing this video here. It's December 2024. Canada Post is on strike. And I will also note that I'm up here in Canada. So if you're watching this video and you're in the US, might be a little bit different on ebay.com. I'm not sure. My experience is mostly on ebay.ca. So just good thing to keep in mind. Hoping the Canada Post strike does get resolved soon. I know it's very difficult to sell hockey cards when shipping costs are a lot higher through a lot of the other providers. I know right now I'm using FedEx, and basically the way I've organized it is you can buy a lot of cards and, the shipping cost stays the same. But I'm definitely looking forward to when Canada Post is back in business, and, I can start charging, just, say $3 or $4 for shipping. And especially for low value cards, that's key as well. But in this case, I've got the time to make the video. So without further ado, let's get right into it here. The first thing you need to do, if you haven't already in a listing, is click the little 3 dots up here in the upper right corner, and you're going to see settings. So this just has to be done, the first time. When you go into settings, you can see right here for variations. That's what we're looking for here. This has to be turned on. If it is off, you are not going to see the next options I'm about to show you. So make sure this option here is turned on. Once it is, if you then scroll down, and I'll also note this is my Young Guns listing, so it's the simpler one, the first one I showed you. If I scroll down here, you'll see this variations section. And then if you click on the edit here, so I've just clicked into that section, it's loading. And by the way, when you start putting a lot of cards in here, it's normal for that little spinning wheel to take a little while to get into this section here. But the first thing you need to do is you need to go to the edit option here at the very top. And for something like a simple Young Guns listing, you just need one attribute, and that could be whatever you want it to say. In my case, I just say Young Guns. You might say pick your Young Guns or select your Young Guns. It's up to you. eBay also, usually depending, if someone's viewing from a computer or mobile device, will put pick or choose kind of before the drop down. So in my case, I just put Young Guns. I figure that's self-explanatory enough. Then as you can see below, the options, those are all the players. And, I've used numbers. And in a lot of cases too, I've started putting kind of the team after. That's something you'll want to consider. If you just want to do card number and then and player name and team, or just the player name, it's up to you. You probably want to stay consistent. I probably need to clean up this listing at some point, but it's actually difficult as time goes on to make changes because all your old stuff's still in there. So kind of good to think about those before you get started. But, here I would just go, if I had a new Young Guns that I pulled from a pack, and if I didn't already have it in my inventory, then I would click create your own, and I would put that into the box right here. Now, another just little tip is to make this faster and easier. You might want to download a checklist off of, like, say, the Beckett website, because they have the upper deck, basically the checklist with all the players, all the cards, and then you could literally just copy and paste from the Beckett site or from the downloadable Excel file they offer into here, and it just saves a lot of time, I find. Now, I don't know how to import a spreadsheet. I haven't seen any way that eBay allows that. If anybody watching has figured that out and has an easier way, I would love to hear from you. Please put a comment if you know of any easier way to do that. Because when it comes to transferring data, of course, it's always better to be able to export and import, but in this case, it's a bit more manual. But like I say, I copy and paste to save a lot of time. So after you put that into the this create your own right here, and then what you're going to do is over on the right-hand side, it's just going to throw them here in a random order. So what I would also do is I would reorder these. So as you can see, if I drag Vincent Desharnais here into the spot 1, sorry, here we go. Yeah, so now he's right before Matthew Coronado, and it's out of order. So as you're putting them in, they're not going to be in the right order, and I like to make sure they're in the right order, because when your buyer goes to your listing, then they're all in proper order. It's a lot easier for someone to find the card they're looking for if they're missing a specific Young Guns and they came to your listing hoping to purchase it. So important to make sure they're all in the correct order. Then once you have that, you would click on update variations, and then it will take you back to their screen. Now, I've already done this. I don't have one to put in just yet, so I'm just going to cancel. I would also just give you a heads up. If a window pops up and it asks you if you want it to automatically add your variations or if you want to do it yourself, I would click the option saying I'll do it on my own, because when you click to automatically do it, depending on the listing, sometimes I find that messes things up and it creates a lot of extra work for you to then delete it on the next step. So if you see a window, if it says, with a button saying I'll do it on my own, click on that, because that's, in my opinion, that's the best way. Again, I'm just going to cancel this. So that was the top part we just looked at right up here. The next part is you would need to, put in a photo. In my case, I just took a picture of a couple of the Young Guns, and I just used, you can use Photoshop or a video photo editor to, maybe put some information or whatever over top of it. So that's what I've done here. Continuing to scroll down, you've got all the photos. So here is where you'll need to add pictures. You don't have to put pictures in, especially since these are more of like stock photos in terms of like you might have multiples of a card. But it's good to make sure you have that. It's, listings that have photos are just more likely to sell. As you can see, each one of these has 2 photos because I've done a front and a back for each Young Guns. So, this takes time if you're putting in all of this all at once, but if you start it like kind of when you're starting off with series 1 and you're putting things in as you go, then it's a lot easier. So, it's good to think about this and start it early on in your collecting with any particular series. So those are the photos. You would make sure to add them for each player. Then you get to the inventory part, and this is where you can see the quantity, you can set the price. I do look and read at the Beckett price guide, as well as researching recent sales comparables on eBay to establish prices for these listings. So that's a good thing to keep in mind as you're going through it and setting prices. Prices can change over time. It's always good to revisit your listings every so often. And maybe just double check the price guides and things like that. And that sort of thing. But as you can see, you can delete or you can modify here. So if I did have another card here, like say I got another Ridley Gregg, then I could just click here and basically go to enter quantity, and I could change that to 2 if I had another one. I don't, so I'm not going to make that change. Now, if I want to add a new card in here, and again, everything we're looking at here is what shows up on the actual listing. This is what affects that other page I showed you. So just as a reminder to bring that back up, let's just pop that up here for a second. It was this listing here. This is what we're looking at right now. We're modifying. So, here again, if I go to like, so with this card here, it's the last one. It's $1.99. So if I wanted to change the price, or if I had another one and increase the quantity, then when I'm here, I need to, again, go here and I need to make changes. I can change the price here, or I can adjust the quantity here. Now, as you make any changes, what you then need to do is you need to go to the very bottom and you need to click Save and Close. Now, another big tip I want to provide you, where I made a mistake before, so I want to save you some trouble and pain, is if say you have a lot of stuff to input, every so often, maybe just click Save and Preview to save your work, because I've had it where my browser accidentally closed after I spent like 10 minutes trying to input stuff, and you lose all of it. You got to do it all over again. It's no fun. So it's good if you got a lot of stuff to do, maybe every 5 minutes or so, make sure you're just saving it so that you don't lose your work. And when you're done and you're final, that's when you're going to go to Save and Close, which takes you back to the listing screen. And then from here, you would just go down to the very, very bottom, and you're going to click on Revise It. So that's all you got to do. I just want to show you, though, briefly, if you have the more complicated version I showed you before, where you have the parallels. Again, let's just bring up the front end here again for a second here, just to show this. So that's this example here. So if, like, say you want to create one of these listings where maybe it is inserts, where you've got things like it could be like UD Canvas or Gaming XP or Checkpoint, the new 2024-25 has those different types of inserts. You could have a different attribute for each of those. One tip here, though, would be if you're doing UD Canvas, because there's so many in that particular type of insert, maybe don't combine it with other ones. Do a separate listing for UD Canvas, because again, whichever way you're going to slice it, you're limited to 250 variations by eBay. So, if you have more than 250 inserts, you're going to run into a cap. You don't want that. And good to pre-plan ahead of time, even if you say you only had 150 inserts right now you're selling, but you don't want to run into sort of like a hard limit down the road. So good to, make sure you might need a couple of these listings, but make sure to do the math, check how many are in each insert category before you do this here. But in this case, it's parallels, so I have clear cuts here, and you can see, again, I got the pictures, to show the clear cuts, here. So we can see that and the pricing. So again, going back to the back end, how I would do that, I would go into, I'm in the variations. I already showed you how to get into here, so I don't need to show that again. Just clicking on edit. And the difference here is attributes, there are 2 instead of 1. So, here I've added pick an attribute. That's what I called it. And the second one is pick a player. Now, if you ever needed other attributes, you can always add your own attribute. This is how you do it right here, and you'd be able to type it in. So this is what I've done previously, is I've typed in here, like pick an attribute, right? So that's what I've done in the past, right, to create this, and I've saved it. But I don't need to do that now. I have the 2. So the attributes are the Silver Outburst, Clear Cut, Deluxe, and Exclusives. If I go to pick a player, here's all the players. Now, one other thing I will tell you to give you a heads up so you can avoid some of the pain of running into problems is you still need to have not just the card number and the player name and the team, but you need something to distinguish the Silver Outburst and the Clear Cuts and that from each other. Because if I did say, if I did have like, say, a Charlie McAvoy Silver Outburst and a Charlie McAvoy Clear Cut, if I just use this one entry for both, it won't work to show different pictures, to show the Silver Outburst versus the Clear Cut. So for that reason, I might need to, and I think I have some examples here. Yeah, I do. Like Nick Suzuki here on the Montreal Canadiens, you can see I put a dash Clear Cut next to him because I think I might also have a Silver Outburst. Yeah, I do actually. Here, you can see right here, 660 Nick Suzuki, Montreal Canadiens. That's a Silver Outburst because I just, one of them didn't have any sort of notation on it, but the Clear Cut had to have something different so I could show that picture in my listing of the Clear Cut instead of the Silver Outburst. Again, over on the right side, as you add things in, they all go random order. I like to have things nice and orderly, so I rearrange it here to put it all into the right order. It's just a little easier. And then again, you click Update Variations. And again, what's critical here is when that screen pops up, click the I'll do it on my own as opposed to asking it to do it automatically, because I've accidentally clicked that myself and it kind of blows things up because it just adds all the players for all of the attributes, and it's a lot of extra deleting. Not a huge deal, but it'll take you a little extra time, and it's avoidable. So you'd click Update Variations. Again, I can't show it because I'm not adding anything here, but the next screen that pops up, you'd say I'll do it on my own, and that would take you back to this screen here. And again, just showing Nick Suzuki as an example here. So he was card 660. So here we've got the Clear Cut and the Silver Outburst. So the Clear Cut, again, if I scroll up, I've got the Clear Cut picture, right? And the back of the Clear Cut, you can see I've added that there. And then also, if I go back down here to the Silver Outburst and I scroll back up, right, that's different. So I can see the picture. And again, that's the reason why I do it that way. Now, maybe you found a different way to do it. Again, if you have other suggestions, put them in the comments. This is by no means the only way probably to do this, but again, it did take me a lot of time to kind of get to this point, so I wanted to save you guys the trouble and have a video showing you how to do it. So if you're liking the video, make sure you remember to click that like button. I do appreciate that. And again, just down here, quick example, if you were to add a card here, you first have to choose what it is you're adding. So if it was like, say, a Silver Outburst, I'd have to select that and then pick from here, this list here. So that's how that would work. I would pick whichever one I'm adding, choose the quantity, set the price, and then I would click the Save button over here on the left. Again, as I do that, I'm and I'm not making changes here, so I'm going to cancel it. But as I've done that, I would scroll down to the bottom, and I would click on one of the save buttons down here. So if I was just adding that one, I would go to save and close. If I'm adding some more, I would probably add maybe 5 or 10 entries, and then I would do a save and preview before start adding more. Because again, if you forget to save and your browser accidentally closes, you got to do it all over again. No fun. So yeah, that's pretty much it right there for creating a variation listing. Like one of those there. It's not too bad once you get into it. So do let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out to me. You can also leave a comment on the video. So I'll keep my eye out for that as well. And always, again, keep in mind I do have lots of listings here. So if you ever want to use my page to get some examples, even if you're just looking to, kind of figure out or look at some things I've done. I know for me, that's also how I kind of learned. I looked at some other people selling hockey cards on eBay, and that's how I started to kind of figure out some of this stuff and try to kind of reverse engineer, to kind of come up with the steps and learn what you need to do. So I hope this video has made it a little bit easier. So I do appreciate if you give it a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.